Welcome back, Pam.
Pam Deloughery 2.0.
Peanut Butter Pam Deloughery 2.0. Welcome back, everybody, to the Healthy and Whole podcast. So today we're back in studio to interview Pam Deloughery, who is a successful graduate of Healthy and Whole for the second time. It's been, 2.5, 3 years since you were on here last? Is that right?
Probably. Yeah, because it's going on September. It'll be 4 years in the program.
It's awesome. So I wanted to bring you back on because some cool stuff has happened since you sort of like graduated into maintenance in the program. And I think your journey is such an encouraging one. And I just think there's so much that we can pull from that will inspire others. And so that's why we're here today. So let's set the stage first with sort of what you originally accomplished in the program, because a lot of people don't know who you are. They didn't see the first interview. Okay. So you came in and you lost some weight. You kept it off.
Yep.
You reversed type 2 diabetes.
Yep.
Went from a A1C of, let me pull up your before and after pictures while we're talking here. I'll throw these up on the screen. Reversed your A1C, went from 6.7 down to like 5.1.
Yep.
And a bunch of other great health markers. And I mean, my favorite thing that you did is you really transformed how you think in your mindset too, which we'll dive into. But as I'm kind of scrolling through some of these before and after pictures, for those of you who haven't heard about your story from you, could you give us a little bit of a snapshot? I want you to think back and give us a little bit of a snapshot to where you were before you joined Healthy and Whole, like right before you came into the program, and what life was like back then. What was Pam like and struggling with, and where were you?
I wasn't a very happy person. I had just gotten a diagnosis of diabetes, and I was kind of angry about that. And I found out about you. I'm not quite sure how I found out about you, but I was like, okay, my doctor said I can put you on medicine or send you to a dietitian. And I said, if you put me on medicine, I won't do anything different. I went to a dietitian. I found you, and I came in, and I was like, I talked to my husband. I was like, I want this to work. You know, can I join this program? And he said yes. And I came in, was just mentally, emotionally, physically, just not a good person, not a happy person, I was a mess. I was just a mess all way around. So I talked to you, and you were telling me about the program, and, you know, you had to do Zoom calls, and I was like, oh no, I had to do this. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out, see how this works. And I kept thinking the whole time, like, I'm going to be the one person this program doesn't work for. And I kept telling you that, and you're like, trust the process, trust the process. So I did all the things. I said, I'm going to be the model student, do all the things, do all the steps, all the workouts, all the food. And things started changing. And I was like, there must be something to this. So I learned from the program how to eat properly. And I liked it. And I started liking myself. And the one thing that I really did not like was the gym, but that was before the program. But after, you know, and I had to go to the gym to do my workouts. So I said, okay, I'll do it, 3 times a week. I was in there doing it. And I kind of started liking it, you know, and I said, man, these people, I'm on the machines, they're with weights. I want to be over where they are. So, you know, I kept sticking with it. And I started seeing, you know, I did lose weight, and my emotional status, you know, me going from wanting to quit my job and to, now it's not so bad. It's how it's a mindset, right? So how to think about it. So I just kept going, and things started changing. I went back in 6 months, and my A1C had dropped, and my doctor said, well, we need you to be like a year. You know, their marker was having your A1C down for a year before they tell you you're out of diabetic range. So I said, okay. So I kept doing that, kept losing some weight. It was slow, but it was there, kept doing the workouts. did all the Zoom calls. And I was just enjoying I was getting to be my real self.
Yeah.
And that's the part that I really liked. I was like, oh, wow, I'm starting to have fun now. So, I got to my goal weight, and then I set another goal for myself. And I said, well, I'm just going to keep going and see where this is because I like it. And so then I thought after a certain period of time, I said, maybe I want to go put myself through school to be a trainer because I like it. I said, maybe just for some knowledge with no thought of a job or anything, what I was ever going to do with it, but just have the knowledge to expand myself and, get better at working out. And then you offered me a job and I was just blown away. I was like, that was not on my radar at all. So thanks to you, this program, not saved me once, but twice now you've given me employment, and it's been so rewarding. And it's just, I can't say enough good things about this program and you. And I really enjoy, I like what I'm doing. I like the food. This isn't like a diet for me anymore. Yeah. This is who I am. And, once you find your identity, you want to do it for the rest of your life. And you know what? I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life. And that's how I know. I guess if I had to measure my success, I would say, if you can do something for the rest of your life, you must like it and it must be rewarding. So that's where I'm at now. I train at the gym. I have people I train. I have young people, old people, and to see them progress and get stronger. And it warms my heart. It's just so rewarding. So that's where I'm at now. So I'm still in the program, still eating the stuff, still addicted to peanut butter, still hate the scale, still have a love-hate relationship with the scale. But overall, I've learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about my habits and
Sorry, I have
things.
a cat rubbing against my knees down here.
So, I just enjoy it. And so I never want to leave the program, and I never, want to stop doing what I'm doing.
Man, full circle journey here. So we talked about your initial results, but for those who didn't hear, you mentioned the word identity, which I think is really important, right? Because you went from a place where, when you first came in, you were in a really negative mindset and a really negative headspace, very pessimistic, I would say. Very kind of doubtful of yourself, not a lot of self-confidence or self-belief.
That's right.
And that's why I asked you to trust the process, right? And you did. To your credit, you really did trust me and trusted the process, and you really did apply yourself, and that's why you got the results that you did. But what I just want to highlight a little bit from what came out of that synopsis of your journey is that, today I look at you and you're one of the most, and other people would say this too, you're one of the most upbeat people. Yeah. One of the most positive people that I know today, which is just like, it's a complete 180 from when I first met you, and you did go from someone who before you started, you were probably intimidated with the gym and not comfortable at all in there. And now you literally, it's part of a career for you, and you became a gym rat.
Right.
And
I'm okay with that.
Absolutely. So just, there couldn't be a more, a lot of people, when they are first starting a weight loss journey, they all have doubts. They all say, okay, especially women, they'll say, well, now I'm in menopause or I'm post-menopause. So, it's probably not in the cards for me, or I have diabetes and it's probably not in the cards. It's going to be way harder now, or I'm working and I don't have the time, or just all the different things that one could say were an excuse. And it's one of the things I love about your journey is that you did all of this post-menopause. How old were you when you first joined the program?
59.
Yeah. And so you're 63 now. So, you came into the program post-menopause with a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, you were working full time, but you trusted the process, and none of those things were truly a limitation for you, right?
Right.
What had you tried before you joined the program?
Oh, I tried counting calories and then using, they have you where you use an app and then you work out, and I would be on a bicycle for like 45 minutes, and then I'd look at the app and I'm like, oh, I have 255 calories left to eat. They put those calories back in. I'm like, what? Oh, okay. I guess I'll do that because I didn't know any better. And I'm not saying those apps are bad. They give you a standard, but they're not a true measure of, calorie deficit, which is what you need to lose weight.
Yeah.
So,
if you don't know what you're doing,
right.
Tracking calories and macros obviously is effective. You're actually one of our few clients who, because our program, we teach people how to control their weight without counting calories and macros. You're one of the few clients we have that just prefers to do it. It just works well with your brain and the way you think. And so you have utilized calorie counting and macro counting for, I would say, a majority of your journey. I don't know if you did it the entire time, but it just seems to work well and jive well for you. But you did it before and it didn't work.
Right.
So it's all about you learned. Right. Kind of what you were doing wrong in that process, and you attained some new knowledge, some new skill around it, and then all of a sudden, it started to work. What were some of the things that that you learned in this journey, process wise, whether it's with food or just things that now looking back you would say, okay, now I'm kind of starting to understand why I wasn't able to be successful, but now that I've learned these things, or maybe I've adopted these specific skills, what are some of those things that you think made the difference for you?
Well, I learned what macros are, protein, carbs, and fat. And, I learned how to eat sustainably and be full and not hungry. And I found out that I was like, I guess you could say a habitual eater, because every day I'd come home from work, I'd, be starving and grab the bag of chips and do that. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing? Now I'm thinking, what am I doing? That's not me.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I measure out stuff. I have snacks ready on hand. I learned how to use the food that I have as fuel. And I don't reward myself with food now. If I hit like a goal or whatever, I'll just go get a pedicure or something. So I don't use food as a reward, but I just learned how to eat sustainably. And part of that, the reason was your cookbook helped a lot with that. And those recipes are super simple and super easy and quick, and they're good. And they're good. And I eat from the cookbook most of the time. So
same.
Yeah. So, and it wouldn't be uncommon for me to eat, go a whole week of, having, the biscuits and gravy stack. Okay. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But
people
I learned,
are like, what? Wait a minute. There's a biscuits and gravy recipe in the cookbook. Yeah.
It's really good. Or French toast, or, stuff like that. That was really satisfying and good. And then I learned that even when I was struggling and I was like, I'm just going to blow it, I'm going to go down, it was just like a behavior mindset shift. Like, there's not really, if I want to eat an ice cream sandwich now, I don't want to have guilt, shame, and remorse over eating something like that. I just make it work with my daily protein, carbs, and fat. I was like, which carbs are good, which are bad? Well, there isn't. They're all, you need all of these things. You need fat. And
which is something I think so many people are really crippled by, is that food noise. Because there's so much, on YouTube, on the internet, and so much conflicting information. Well, there's just so much polarizing information where people are out there villainizing carbs, or villainizing, fat, or villainizing plants, or just all this stuff. And people who say that, intermittent fasting is the way, or that you should do carnivore, or just all these different things.
Keto or whatever.
Yeah. And it creates this thing in your head where you get crippled by the, what's good, what's bad. Right. And then you're just, you're just so stressed out and overwhelmed by it.
Right.
And what you learned is that there's no such thing as a good or a bad food.
Right.
If you understand, calories and portions and
That's right.
and what, if you look at a food and understand how much of it might be protein and how much of it might be not protein, then you can really make anything fit in the context of a day of eating. And then now you don't have to walk around feeling guilty.
Right.
Or obsessed or stressed out about it.
Yep.
And yeah.
Yeah, I used to be, I'm going to eat this. And I felt like I was going down the self-sabotage rabbit hole. And I'm like, I've screwed up. My mind was just throwing the whole day.
Yep.
But then I jumped on a coaching call and you're like, wait a minute, that's just one snack. That's not the end of the journey for you. Fix it, move on. You ate it, own it, and then work on something, and you're not going to gain.
We still got the whole rest of the day.
Right. I'm just like, all right, well, I had that. Might as well go get nachos, pizza.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to think like that anymore. No. And it is a lot of effort. I'll say that. It is a lot of effort to, especially when you think you have these cravings, which I felt like, my cravings, I think, were just thoughts running through my head of what sounded good to me. It's like, ooh, chocolate. I need chocolate. No, Pam, you don't need chocolate. It just sounds good right now. So that's what, when people say they crave carbs, they don't crave carbs. They crave the thought of what those carbs do and how they taste. So, I played it safe a lot in my weight loss journey, not having a whole lot of cheats because, well, first of all, my addiction to peanut butter, which is not a protein source. So everybody knows right now, peanut butter is a fat.
Yes.
And I've learned to make my own peanut butter healthy, but I still eat the old stuff. But, it's just if I want to have a treat or, something, I'll plan for it. I'll plan for it. So that way I can enjoy it. Me and my husband went out to eat like 4th of July weekend. And I was just sitting there with the fork with my eyes closed, just kind of moaning. I was like, oh, this is so, so good. It was a grasshopper pie and it was so good. And my husband's like, are you okay? And I'm like, shh, be quiet. Let me enjoy this. I'm enjoying this whole
I have
thing.
to ask, what is grasshopper pie? I am not familiar with this.
It's kind of like a minty. It had an Oreo cookie crumb crust, and it's kind of like a mousse with like a minty flavor to it, and it had like white chocolate. Oh, it was good. And I think it's a drink, actually. They do a grasshopper drink. Okay. So it's kind of that, but I had never seen that on the menu. I'm like, oh, I'm getting that. Yeah. I knew that we were going out to eat. So I had planned my day. And, when he was like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just enjoying this moment. So I enjoyed it. And then I was good.
Yeah.
Was I worried about whether the scale was going to go up the next day? It's not one meal that's going to do you in, it's not, I had this conversation with my son. He's like, I don't know what to do. My friends are eating. I'm like, if you want to eat, go ahead and eat. That is not going to make you gain weight, Yeah. So I learned that in the program. So I'm just having fun. I'm just living my best life right now and enjoying it, enjoying the food. Yeah. And, learning. I'm still learning. I'm always going to be learning and growing. And, the program's always changing. It's getting better and better. The recipes are good. And you never know. I might put out a little peanut butter recipe book one day. You never know.
You definitely should put out, because you are all the time coming up with like your own peanut butters and your own peanut butter pies and your own, all your
cookies
bringing in stuff.
That.
Yeah. You definitely could publish a healthy peanut butter recipe, cookbook.
Yeah, but I'm just enjoying it, and it works for me. And like I said, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life. So, I don't consider it a diet. I didn't consider when I reached a goal that I'm stopping now and this is it. And I have to worry about maintaining or whatever. I'm just like, I eat like this because I want to, because it's good and it's sustainable and it's healthy. Yeah. And I just want to help other people. I have a client, that I train at the gym. I was like, I'll take you shopping. I'll show you what to buy. I went right through
Yeah.
your healthy and whole cookbook and went
Yeah.
down through all those recipes. And then, I'm asking like, have you made it yet? And no, I haven't made any. I'm like, they're simple to make.
Yeah.
They're real simple. Just do it. Just do it. All I haven't done was go over to your house and make it for you, but I will help you. I will, where they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I do the same thing. I do the same thing he teaches. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that is, the thing is you took action, right? You came into the program. You were very open and very coachable. You had a lot of doubts about yourself or your own abilities. And you actually said, like you said, I think I'll probably be the one person this doesn't work for. Right. But you felt that fear and you felt that doubt and you acted anyway. You acted in spite of it. But, that's just sort of the thing is if nothing changes, then nothing changes,
True.
And but you've done just an incredible job. And so one thing I want to dive a little bit deeper into here. What do you think as a woman, and we coach mostly women in the program. We're getting a lot more men now than we had traditionally in the past, but we do coach, I would say 80% of our client roster are someone's going to shoot me for saying this, middle-aged women. And so what are some of the misconceptions or mindsets that you think a lot of women have that hold them back from getting the results that they want or seeing the type of progress that they really want?
I think the brain believes what you tell it. If you're telling it you're not going to be a success, I can't do this, I'm a failure, the brain is going to believe that, and you're going to act on that, and you're going to sabotage yourself. So, and I think as women, we're so busy taking care of our families, and then whatever's left, we may have energy for us, maybe. So if you have to make a conscious effort to put yourself first, it's not excluding your family. I make stuff for my family now. Do I tell them it's healthy? No, this is just how I eat. I just make it. If you eat it and you like it, fine. If you don't, that's what's for dinner.
Yeah.
So, rather than trying to make 3 different meals and then by the end of the day, not having any gas left in the tank for you, wonder why you want to go to bed at 7:00 at night, when I look forward to having tacos, or taco bake, and those foods that you eat and what you learn, how those foods work in your body, they will give you energy. You'll feel better. You'll want to go out for a walk after dinner. You'll be like, oh, this is great. It's like your, little kryptonite. You just feel good. You feel better. And I think a lot of women push themselves to the side and put other things first. And you can do it. I mean, I've worked out early in the morning, late at night, before I went on a trip, before I've gone out of town, whatever.
Indy 500.
I work it out. It's a non-negotiable for me. And I will not, my husband's like, are you going to go to the gym now? And I'm like, yeah. He said, you just drove 7 hours home. I'm like, all the more reason. I've been sitting all day.
Yeah.
So, once you create this lifestyle for yourself and you see how it works, you want more of it. You're going to want to do it more and more. And I think a lot of women, they get to a point and then they go, okay, they're stalled or they're at a plateau and they're like, now what do I do? Doesn't mean nothing's changing just because you don't see the results. And like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with the scale. Still always will. But I don't, starve myself now and, punish myself if I have too much peanut butter. I just move on. I'm like, I still count it. I'm like, it still counts.
Yep.
So good, bad, otherwise, I still count it, but I move on and I don't hold on to those, I guess a limiting belief for me would be that, am I really worth doing this for? And the answer is yes, you really are. You see that, your kids see that, your family sees that, and the change that it makes. Yes, you are worth it. Yes, you can do it.
Yeah.
You know, people just get to a point and they go, oh, I'm afraid. I remember having a conversation with you about my clothes, what I call my fat clothes. And I was in tears. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And you're like, get rid of them. I'm like, but what if I gain the weight back? He's like, but what if you don't? And I'm like, you know, the reward would be to buy newer, bigger clothes. That's not a reward. So I got rid of them, you know.
Burn the boats.
It was hard. It was hard, but you kind of want to hold on to those old habits, because when you get in a habit of doing something, you do it over and over again. It's easy.
Yeah.
The habit that this program taught me is it takes more time, but eventually you'll get into the habit of eating healthy, of wanting to go to the gym. You know, you may not get your 10,000 steps. Maybe you can only do 2. All right. Do 2 a couple times a day. You know, you can make it work, you know.
Yeah.
And if I have a problem, I just jump on a coaching call. And, you know, you guys are always available, and you see things that we don't see. Sometimes we get in our head. So those are some of the big things that I've known, that, you know, don't doubt yourself, because yes, you are worth it. You know, you will see results. You will feel better. And then you'll be like me, and you'll be talking to people about, you know, how they can get better and how they can do it. And it just goes from next person to the next, to families, to so we have a healthy society, because you know, we need it.
That's the goal, you know. And I watch you and your family. You went through this journey, then became a gym rat and started working out all the time. Now you have your personal trainer license and you're coaching clients in the gym, and your son now is very, very active as well. And his lifestyle has changed significantly just because of your leadership in the home. And that's, to me, that's what it's all about. Like, if you go to my Facebook profile, you go up to the top, it says the mission statement for Healthy and Whole is to help busy and ambitious moms and dads become physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally healthy, so they can raise up healthy kids and create generational health in their families. And you're seeing that play out in your house. The thing you said a minute ago that I just want to hit on one more time is this whole idea of time, right? We live in an instant gratification society, and I get it, because with our cell phones and, you know, just everything in our society is really so time efficient. We can Amazon Prime something, we can DoorDash something, everything is at our fingertips, and it's so optimized for time that we forget that there are certain things in life that there is no Amazon Prime, DoorDash solution for. And you can't Amazon Prime becoming the person that you truly want to be. It just takes, you know, you went through this journey. You're still on the journey. You're still learning, which I think is a really important thing for people to digest.
Right.
You've been in maintenance for at least 2 years, probably going on 3 years now, and in the program going on 4 years. And I'm not saying every person that ever joins our program and works with us has to be with us forever like you, but there's something really to be said about your mindset there, in that you became someone who prioritizes ongoing learning and growth and setting new goals, and just sort of becoming better every day a little bit.
Yeah.
Versus Pam, when you started, probably wasn't even thinking about that at all.
No.
You were probably just trying to survive every day.
I was like, why am I diabetic? All right, let me go get a couple drinks and I'll think about what I'm going to do next. But
but it took time for you to learn what you needed to learn from a nutritional standpoint to understand food the way you understand it today. It took time for you to learn the exercises and to understand your body and working out, and to become comfortable with the gym, and then to actually be to a place where you could start liking it. And it took time for you to learn to understand yourself and to understand the ways of thinking that hadn't been serving you, and to understand and see your limiting beliefs and things like that. And then to slowly start to change that. I'm curious, what do you think of all the things, all the mindset shifts and things that you've had since you first started this journey is there one that just really stands out to you that you just carry with you every day? Like one mindset shift that just sort of like is the biggest one for you?
I'm worth it.
Yeah.
I'm worth it. I feel like, before I was like, all right, if the diet didn't work or the counting calories didn't work, that's okay. I tried it before. It didn't work. That's just me. That's just how I am now. Don't tell me I can't do something, because I'm going to do it. And I'll challenge you that I can do it. And I carry that with me, and my faith has grown tremendously. I mean, it's by the grace of God that I'm here, that I truly believe that I'm doing, that this was supposed to be what I'm supposed to be doing. I really believe that. There's another story behind that. That's for another interview. But anyway, I believe that.
We've got time for that.
I truly believe that. And I always wanted to be the type of I always wanted to be a teacher. And I guess in a way you could say I am a teacher. So I'm teaching clients how to be healthy through fitness and also through nutrition.
Yep. And,
like I said, once you find something that you like, you want to do it for the rest of your life. I may not always intermittent fast. I may not like the scale, but I love my life. I love, my family. I love what I'm doing. I love this group. I love you for what you've created. And everybody should have a mat in their life to teach them how to be healthy and whole, because that's what it's done for me. It's really made me feel worthy, made me really feel worthy. And the weight loss was part of it, but it was mainly the mindset shift that, you start out losing weight and then you're like, oh, other things in your life start clicking in, and then, you find out what your triggers are. I know what my triggers are, as far as eating and different habits. And you go through that whole process and you learn, and, you don't give up. You just keep growing. You keep growing and you keep going. And, if you stall out and you gain some weight back, that's all right. Just pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and just keep going. Because I've gained some weight back. I felt like I was too thin, and then my workouts were harder. So I said, all right, I'm going to bulk up. Well, I gained more than I wanted to. Yep. And then I was
learning process, right?
I was kind of beating myself up over that. And you're like, well, you know what to do. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do. But sometimes we get in our own heads, and you can't, you need an outside source to look at it differently, because when it's you're emotional about it, and that's why this program is always available, coaching hours, and these people will help you through it. And it's probably something, super simple that you didn't think of, like me measuring out my breakfast cereal in bags so I can grab that. What did you call it? Reducing friction. So
you're just making it easy.
You're just making it easy, so you can do that. Mix up your hydration cocktail at night. I mean, it's so simple. We miss it sometimes.
Yes.
So,
simple, not easy is what they say. It's I mean, it is simple, but that's one of the most powerful things that people don't. If we're talking about mindset shifts and things that people probably need more than anything, it's just there's an expectation. People just don't know what they need, right? And like when you first reached out, you didn't know what you needed.
No.
You just knew what you wanted.
Right.
You knew you wanted to feel different, and you knew you wanted results, but you had no idea what you actually needed. And now I knew you needed knowledge. There were certain knowledge and skills that you needed to learn to make you capable of doing what you needed to do. You needed a lot of support and encouragement and accountability. You needed to be able to have conversations with a coach when you were struggling, so that you could get outside perspective and help have someone to help you see what was maybe right in front of you that was super simple, but you were not seeing it, maybe because you were emotional or attached or just whatever that would be. And you needed a community of other people so that you could see, okay, you know what, I'm not alone on this journey. B, it's just really cool to see people develop relationships within the community, and people get on the group calls where we have great conversations, and they get emotional together. They cry together. They're vulnerable with each other. Then you start to realize, okay, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one who struggles with this or struggles with that. Or
That's right.
You'll hear someone will jump on a call and hear you talk about something that you learned or you had a breakthrough with, and then that helps them. And then they jump on, and someone else jumps on and has something that helps you. And so but I think that's a big thing for me as a coach who looks out into the world at all the people who are suffering. And it's always very hard for me. I'm biased. I wish we could help every person in the world, that is struggling with this. But it's hard for me as a coach to look out in the world and see the struggling and just know, like, I know what you need.
Right.
I know what you need, but you don't know what you need. And, and it's also hard because as a coach who runs a business and does all of this, it's hard to sell someone what they need in a way that they actually want to buy it.
Right.
If I told, most people sat them down and said, it's gonna take you somewhere between 6 and 24 months. You're gonna have to learn all these things and develop all these skills and change the way you think and do all of these things. Most people are like, I'm out.
Right. They don't want to put the work in it, but it doesn't seem like it hasn't seemed like 4 years that I've been in this, I bet if they had an Amazon wish list for people that when they could buy a 3-month, 6-month, or 12-month weight loss plan, they'd probably pick the 3-month, the quickest, fastest way. And they wouldn't, but what good does it do if you don't learn, you don't learn what how to do it the correct way.
Yeah.
So,
but you do learn, and you learn fast
the
program these days.
You do.
It's really streamlined to the point where even in just the first 3 to 6 months, people are having pretty crazy, ridiculous breakthroughs. I think about, I don't know if you've seen a girl named Susie who's been on some of the group calls, lately, and she's only, 6 weeks into the program, and she's almost a completely different person than I interviewed 6 weeks ago. There's Joey the cat.
No, Joey's got something to say.
Joey's jumping on. Joey's been rubbing against my feet down here this entire time. So, all right, Jojo, come on, buddy. Come on. I don't want you knocking over the cameras. There we go. Joey made his
So this Susie
debut.
girl, she's learning super early. Sometimes people don't learn that early. It takes, they may be slower, however it comes, but you get there.
You get there, yes. As long as you just stay faithful to the process, you stay open, you stay coachable. Absolutely. So what goals are you working on now?
Right now, I'm leaning back down and I want to get some more muscle. I always want good arms. It's like this thing I always have. And it's just one of those things. I wore a sleeveless thing to church and somebody said, I hope I don't make you mad. You're going to beat me up. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, looking at your arms. And I'm like, oh. And then one gal said, oh, I wish I had your shoulders. That makes me feel good. But when I look in the mirror, I don't see that reflection of all the work that I've done. I don't see it because as humans, we're more critical of ourselves, but I don't walk around like, looking at, but I'm always working on it. Now I'm working on my legs, and
there's nothing wrong with that. I want to just say that it's not you're not working on it necessarily from a space of you hate it. Right. You're working on it because you love it and you want to just see it improve.
I just want to improve. Yeah. I just want to see, I just want to improve myself and see. And I'm not
working on
young.
my legs too. So
yeah, legs are one of those things. Like I got the upper body good. Now I need to get the lower body and make it. And just working on anything that somebody in my family may want to eat. They're like, hey, can you? And I have clients that ask me this. They're like, hey, can you make this and such? I'm like, I can change any recipe and make it healthy and good. That's what I learned from the cookbook and from you guys. So, and you'll see me going to the grocery store. Don't talk to me because I'm too busy scanning stuff and looking for stuff, So I'm trying to figure out what I can put together and things like that. So I'm learning, I just have to make peanut butter a little bit more healthier to be sustainable for me every day. But no, that was a joke. But yeah, just learning and leaning into like my body more and where, I'm not young. And this could end at any time. I could break a hip or something, So I'm just going to keep doing it and until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is how you stay young. I get my blood work done every 6 months with Function Health, and one of the coolest things that I didn't even know existed is that they now can sort of measure your biological age compared to your chronological age. And what they do is they take all these blood markers and they correlate them together and they calculate your biological age.
Oh, interesting.
And so as I started taking my blood with Function Health every 6 months a couple of years ago, my biological age is going down.
That's great.
Like you would hope that it would just kind of be staying stable or this, that, or the other. But no, it's going down. As of my last blood draw, I just turned 41. My biological age is 29.4 years old. And so it becomes this thing where and I just started running and I'm, kind of getting my spark back. I kind of lost my spark for a little bit with strength training. I just think I've been doing it so long,
Right.
But now seeing my biological age coming down and whatnot, now I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get it that it's not just that I want to look good and feel good today. It's that I want to look good and feel good, and I want to be as young as possible, as long as possible. So now in my brain, it's like, how do I get that biological age down even further as my chronological age ticks up? And you're doing that too. I guarantee you, if we were to measure your biological age when you first started versus what it is now, I guarantee you that it went boop down, and you're 4 years older now.
Right.
So the things you're doing are going to keep you young, keep you strong, keep you functional, help you age very, very well. And that's why you keep doing them.
Right. I mean, it used to be years ago, cardio. Now it's like strength training.
Yeah.
It matters for your muscle health. And, as you get older, you tend to lose that muscle mass. But, I have a client that's in her 70s. She, it's never too late to start. You can always,
Never.
And her weights have gone up. She started, at 5 pounds, went up to 8. Now she's up to 10. And she's, you're not going to get big. People go, I don't want to get big. That takes years. You're not going to get big. You're going to get stronger. Your weights are going to go up because you're getting stronger. And and you'll be able to tell. So when you can't, stand up from sitting in a chair for so long or whatever, those things matter, as you age.
Yeah.
So age is,
they matter more.
Age is not your friend, but I'm fighting it all the time.
But that is such an important thing to point out, though, because there is, I think a lot of people do have this idea that, once we reach a certain age, what's the point in trying anymore, or that you can't build muscle, or you can't do this, or you can't do that. That is so far from the truth. Mike, I just was meeting with Mike, another guy in the program. He actually stopped by. He works at the state fair every year, and he stopped by to hand me 3 bags of kettle corn from the state fair. And I was in the middle of a workout when he came by, but he messaged me after, and he just said, I've been this year especially getting compliments and comments from all these people saying I look healthier and more fit than ever before. And I mean, he's been doing this for years now. Traditional logic would say that you look older and you look less healthy over time, but he's been going to the fair and working with these same people for years, and he looks more fit and more healthy after 4 or 5 years of doing this than he did last year or the year before, and so on. And so you really can, there really is a lot we can do. And he's 74.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, as you age, how you feel about yourself and overall your, quality of life, that matters. It shows on your face. You know, you can see people's struggles if they're stressing or if they, they're just down in the dumps. I'm not saying that ages you, but that doesn't help either. So when you're happy and you're upbeat and you feel good, and you know, people just want to be around you. They want what you have. They're like, I want that. So that's what I've learned here in this program. And I'm, like I said, I'm not leaving anytime soon. So yeah, I miss the calls because I have clients.
Yeah, you can't get on all of the group calls like you used to.
I miss them so much because I always had questions. I probably still have. I would try to stump Matt on the calls because I always have questions. But yeah, it's made a big difference, and I'm just so thankful. I'm just so thankful, and the opportunity that you gave me working in the gym. I never would have thought that I would be a person that would do that at if we're talking age, I never went, oh, I'm too old for that. I just did it. Yeah. Didn't think about that because, like I said, I believe your brain believes what you tell it. If you tell it you're too old, you're not even going to try. So
that's right.
That never even crossed my mind. So I'm like, I'm going to do this. I don't care, and I don't like to, discuss age because I am older, but this is my best life right here.
Yeah.
So it took me this long to get here. It's not going anywhere. I'm not leaving anytime soon. So
I love it.
But yep.
Last question. I think I'm going to start asking this question to everybody who I interview on this program. I see other podcasts, podcasters do this, and I think it's pretty cool. But the name of our program obviously is Healthy and Whole. And a lot of different people, those two words take on different meaning to them. What does healthy and whole mean to you in your life?
Healthy and whole for me is living a life that's happy, joyous, and I'm eating healthy. I feel good. The wholeness that I feel from the workouts, from being physically fit, it's just like a twofer. They kind of go hand in hand. If you're healthy, you're going to feel more whole. That's how I feel about it, and that's how I truly feel. And the whole thing summed up is it's just you start off with a weight loss journey, which most people come in here and do. Yep. And, they come and go, but you stay for the community and the wholeness because you're not the only one that is feeling like that, And we've all been in situations where we're down, we're depressed, but it's, it's whole. You make yourself whole by taking care of yourself, putting yourself first, my family, my God. And it's just, it all plays off of each other. So one, you feel good, then you feel better, and then you want other people to feel better. So I feel whole myself as I've been in this program for years. Like I said, I don't want to leave and it's not because I'm afraid I'm going to gain the weight back or I'm going to go off the deep end. I just feel the wholeness of the community. Yeah. And that's what brought me my health back. That's what gave me my health back, So that's what it means to me. I don't know if that answered your question, right?
It did. Well, and you made a comment early on in the interview where you said, I can't remember the exact words you used, but you said, I am becoming myself again.
Right.
And it's just, I think life does that. Life experiences and things, they kind of put a wall or put a void between who we actually are at our core. We get trauma, we get depressed, we get anxiety, we get stinking thinking, as one of my favorite Zig Ziglar says. He said we get wrapped up with all that stinking thinking. But then as you start to do the work that you've been doing, you start to actually come back to who you are.
Right.
And now you're the person that you probably were before all that life happened, and it feels good. So yeah, you've definitely answered the question. I guess I lied when I said one more question. I have one more question, and that is just that For folks who are listening to this and they have not started this journey yet, they are maybe closer to where you were when you started. They're very uncomfortable. They're not happy with where they're at. Maybe they're a little bit depressed. Maybe they feel like their ways of thinking are negative, like yours were when you first started. What would you say to them, and how would you encourage them?
Well, what I would say is it takes a mindset shift and a behavior change. You have to put in the work to get the results. But you can do it. It can be done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter your age, your physical limitations. I have thyroid issues too. Doesn't matter. They can work. Not everybody can, do a leg press machine. They may have something wrong with their feet or whatever. They can work around that. So if you're thinking about doing it, you really need to get, dig deep and just go, I'm ready to make a change. It's like, sign me up, because I want, what I see, what you have, or what it's done for you and hundreds of other clients. It's not just me. There's so many success stories, and don't think it can't apply to you, because it can apply to you. So, just try it and do the work, and you'll see the results, and you'll be happier, and you'll be a better person because of it. So like I said, I can't thank you enough for the change that you've made. It's so positive. And for anybody that wants to join, just give Matt, message him, talk to me. You've seen stories of people. This is real. This wasn't, I didn't know what questions he was going to ask. So we're very, transparent here, and we'll tell you, and just do it for yourself, do it for yourself.
Awesome. Thanks for coming back on and doing another interview.
Thanks for having me.
I think we'll probably do another one in the future.
Okay.
Maybe many more. Maybe I'll have you come on and just ask me a bunch of those questions.
Yes. Okay.
That you have. We'll just have you come on and be the Pam Q&A for Matt. Ask all the questions that you think other people might want to hear too. If you are still listening to this and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so on the podcast channel or the main channel, wherever this happens to be. And thanks for being here, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks.